welcome back to the Don Robbie channel. We are getting ready for the new season. Looking forward to it kicking off. Arsenal versus Brentford. That's a tough game, man. I'll tell you, I'm worried about it. It's still tough. But what I want to explore in this video, with the help of Abby, of course, massive Tottenham fan, and Lewis, massive Chelsea fan, is who is going to win the Golden Boot? Who's going to be the top scorer in the Premier League this season? I'll tell you what, it's quite exciting because you've got some ballers. You know, if I just take a look at some, obviously there's Harry Kane, we don't know where he'll be. Could he be at City scoring those goals? I don't know. Right. You got Harry Kane. Lukaku could be one of those guys that, you know, at Chelsea. Timo Werner.
Come on, I can't even drop that.
Could Aubameyang come back after having a horrific season last year? Could he come back and be in the goals? Danny Ings at Villa. Is there a shout for him now? He'll be playing amongst better players. You know, Buendia creating for him and stuff like that. Shout for him. Calvert-Lewin at Everton. Started off brilliantly last season.
Yeah.
Could the goals come, you know, Salah, who's always there. Very underrated, I feel, Salah. Doesn't get mentioned, but always there with the goals. Mane. It's a lot of really good goal scorers.
I think Patrick Bamford was up there as well last year.
Patrick Bamford, great shout of Leeds.
Also, Ivan Toney. I mean, another really good striker.
Ivan Toney coming up from Brentford.
Anyone that watched him in the Championship.
You guys saw Son and everything, don't you?
You know, there's so many good goal scorers. You know, and these are the ones that are like springing to mind. There's so many.
There's a lot of players there that, you know, score goals on a regular basis, and will have a shout and a run at that Golden Boot this year. But who's going to be that guy? Abby? I
mean, look. Whether or not he's at Spurs or if he's at City, I still think he'll be top scorer. And I think that Harry Kane is always going to be top scorer, regardless. It's just about if he stays fit or not. You know, and last year was actually the first season in ages he actually managed to maintain his fitness. And of course, we saw him top scorer and top assists. I think that if he goes to City, there's not even a doubt in my mind. I think we'll be looking at stupid numbers if he's at City. Just obviously with Grealish now as well, Foden, De Bruyne are behind him. So for me, it will always be Harry Kane, whether he's in a Spurs shirt or in a City shirt. Obviously, like we said, if you guys get Lukaku, we all know what Lukaku can do. That's another person that's going to run him close. Salah, like you said, doesn't get the respect. Salah was still right behind. My only thing with Liverpool is just they haven't really done anything to like refresh, you know, and I kind of expected them to do something because obviously they dropped off quite a bit last year. That was obviously because of injuries, but they haven't really done anything to like refresh the front, jazz things up a bit. That's my one thing I'm feeling about Liverpool this year is just like maybe it could just go a bit stale, a bit how it did with Spurs.
Hold on, let me spin back a minute ago. Spin back to Spurs, right? If Harry Kane stays at Spurs, are you sure he will score the same amount of goals? What frame of mind is he going to be in?
I think he's...
Right, because, you know, like last year he's in goal mode, he's in mode to... But if you've got a player that says, you know, we've all seen what's happened, and he decides to stay, and his mind's not right. He's sort of like, yeah, I'm back at Spurs, but I don't really want to be here, and that could affect his... It could
affect it. However, despite how unprofessional he's been this week, and when this sorts itself out and whatever happens, my thing is that if he's still at Spurs, he still is England captain. He still has a World Cup next year. He still has personal things that he likes to, you know, all of the goals and things, they're his personal targets. You know, we don't win a trophy for him winning the Golden Boot or for him getting Alan Shearer's record. So everything he does is for his own benefit. So it's in Harry Kane's best interest to have his best season possible and score as many goals as possible because he wants to break that record. So whether or not he's got to just suck it up and stay at Spurs for one more season, it's all going to count towards the same goal for him at the end of the day. So I still think that he would be professional regardless of once this whole kind of shit show is over, and still once the season starts, wherever he is, just crack on and get down to it. I think he has that much.
I do want to add to that as well and say that if he stays at Tottenham, he owes those Tottenham fans back so much. And they're going to be on his neck from the first game of the season. If he starts throwing it in, they're going to read it from the start.
That could affect him though.
It could affect him
where if he goes for a little blip, which he doesn't go through many. But he does have times sometimes where he might go a few games without scoring. Whereas in the past, the Tottenham fans will be like, it's so cool, man. Harry will be back there. Get behind him.
I still
they
think
might be on him now.
He
They
just
might be
better
on
hope
him and
it's
saying,
not the
look,
start,
you know what we like as fans? They're like, look, his mind ain't there.
Look,
I hear exactly what you're saying.
He thinks he's at City now, or he thinks
but
he's there.
the thing is, if this is all gets, I assume this is going to get nipped in the bud very, very quickly, one way or the other, as soon as he decides to come back to training. But I think that he has to understand, no one else is to blame for Harry Kane's situation other than Harry Kane, right? It's not, and I don't like Daniel Levy. I'm very keen to
in agreement, though,
but I'm in agreement in the fact that you chose to sign a 6-year deal, okay? I appreciate the club is not going where any of us wanted it to go when you signed that deal. But at the end of the day, I'm not getting 300 grand a week for it, okay? I'm paying my money to go towards your wages at the end of the day. And you didn't put in your clause, your management team didn't put in there any type of clause.
And a handshake.
Okay, the handshake means nothing. And if you're dealing with Daniel Levy, come on. But also, 100 million.
I won't be shaking your hand then.
100 million for Harry Kane, it's a steal, right? And why should Spurs suffer when you've seen other transfers? Lukaku's going to go for more than what Harry Kane has been offered for. You know, Jack Grealish has gone for the same amount. I get it for a Grealish perspective, the whole thing that comes with it, and he's still a little bit younger. But why should Spurs? You know, there's been one offer on that table, and it's nowhere near close. So if City want to come back with another offer, then it's up for discussion. But until you're anywhere near the ballpark, you be professional, you do your job, and you go to work. You go to
shaking
work.
your hand on nothing.
No.
Trust me, I'm getting contracts done
contracts.
for everything. Yeah, but you heard that. But Harry Kane, well, you got someone else maybe, or?
I mean, Harry Kane's always going to be up for it. Like, we can't even try and sugarcoat. He's always going to be up in the discussion anyway. Him, Mo Salah, could see Son up there, like he's always there or thereabouts, but because...
He could take the mantle up.
Yeah, but because he's coming back to the Premier League, he's come back in the form of his life, I have to go for R9 himself, Romelu Lukaku.
R9?
R9, man, come on. But I feel like the biggest thing for Lukaku as well, if he comes back, is that one of the reasons why he left as well was the English media, and he thought like he was very poorly treated by the media, and they made him out to look like a clown, and obviously because his touches used to be horrendous back at Manchester United.
They say he's too fat and all things like that. Yeah,
and the weight and everything, I don't even really blame on him. I think that's Manchester United. You lot let him get to that position. Any other coach, any other team, they'd see him start to get a bit too much weight, and they'd be like, "Nah, cut it off now." They didn't stop him. You could say maybe it's his fault for doing it, but I don't think a player gets overweight when you sign for Manchester United unless it's been asked of them. Like they ask him to bulk up a bit and he does it a bit too much. And now they've made it out to look like he isn't serious. That was one of the reasons why he initially wasn't even going to come back. He was happy at Inter Milan. He felt loved there. He felt like the media respected him. And he thought it was a complete 180 to where he was treated in England. Obviously, things have changed now. Inter Milan have to sell. It looks like it's probably going to happen in the next few days. If he comes back fit. He comes back in the shape of his life and in the form of his life as well. Every aspect of his game has improved in Italy, and he's got so much smarter as a player. Everything I've heard about him from other rival fans saying that we shouldn't sign him, saying that he's a flat-track bully, only scores against small teams. Well, we need someone to score against low blocks because that's all we ever face, and we struggle with that. So all they're telling me is that he fits our problems to a T because he's going to score against the small teams. So I expect him to hit the ground running. That's why I wanted him over Erling Haaland. I thought Haaland was a long-term move for Chelsea, but we needed experience. We need someone who can come in and give experience to the younger players of our squad because we've got a very young attack and no one else in our squad's going to be up for top goal scorer. It is just going to be Lukaku and nobody else.
Not Werner?
You must be mad. No chance. You see the Tottenham game on Wednesday, he's on the same BS that he was on last season. And I'm not giving him the same excuses this season round. He's had a year in the Premier League, he's adjusted, and he's now a European champion. You now have experience under your chest. Now you need to start scoring. But I don't think he's going to do that anyway. But he's good for other areas. His movement's amazing, his link-up play's amazing. It's just his finishing stinks, but it is what it is. But I'm going to go Romelu Lukaku anyway. I think he's going to be amazing this season.
If Lukaku signs for Chelsea, you're going Lukaku.
Yeah, I'm going Lukaku.
If he doesn't sign for Chelsea, who are you going then?
Probably just have to be Harry Kane again, regardless of what team it is. Because Harry Kane stat pads these trophies. Like, really and truly, like, they're basically his now. So I can't really see anybody else except for him.
It's about the fitness. It's always about the fitness with Harry Kane.
Fitness and his head state. I think that was a very good point earlier too. If his mind isn't in the right frame of mind, then it could really be open season for the Golden Boot. But if he comes back, he's motivated and he wants to make it up to the Tottenham fans, I actually think you could see an even worse Kane than you did last season.
Okay. I'm going to go against what both of you said. I think if Kane goes to City, which I'm not too sure if he will now, but if he goes to City, for me, he's winning the Golden Boot. If you've got Grealish and Foden and
it's going to be disgraceful.
Sterling, and he'll win that Golden Boot easily. If he stays at Tottenham, I'm not too sure about his state of mind will pick up later because he's a professional, but it might affect him. I don't think I'm going to go Salah. I think this guy nobody ever mentions him and he's always. I think he was run up last year. The year before that, he had it won it jointly, or the year before that, he's always in and amongst it. And I think he'll score a lot of goals again this year. I think Salah is quality, scores a lot of goals. He's quite greedy as well, so he makes sure he scores goals.
I hear that. My only thing with Salah though is that he's one of those that needs a lot of chances to put the ball in the back of the net. He's a volume player.
I don't think that's the case.
He has so many chances.
I don't think
he scores a lot of goals, but Liverpool makes so many chances as well, and they miss a lot of it too.
Yeah,
Same thing goes for Mane and Firmino.
Yeah.
I think he's clinical.
I wouldn't say clinical. I just think he gets so many chances on the play. One or two of them go into the back of the net.
All right, it's Salah. What I want to find out from you guys as well is like who's sort of a dark horse player behind them that could nick it, could come from. I mentioned Danny Ings earlier. Now going to be at Villa. There's Patson Daka who's just signed for Leicester. No one's mentioned Jamie Vardy.
I was literally just about to say that. No one even mentioned Jamie Vardy in that conversation.
I think he's had that one injury and now we're all expecting him to slow down a little bit.
But he never slows down. He's
always there. Like he always he'll always get 10 at least.
Yeah, and he might be driven by the competition that Ian Nacho came to the party. He was really lively towards the last season, and Patson Daka now in there as well. He might liven up. Ivan Toney, who broke records in the Championship, if he can replicate some of that in the Premier League. So who's that? Give me a dark horse player that maybe no one's really thought of that could, if it weren't your obvious Kane, Salah, Lukaku if he goes to Chelsea, someone else who could nick in there.
I think Bamford's a fair shout, but for me, he's another one of those as a high-volume striker. He missed more big chances than Werner did last season, but then he still ended up getting 18 goals in the league. So for him, it's about, if he can start being more clinical, he's definitely going to be up there. Ivan Toney's a real dark horse, but it's just like you're not too sure how he's going to adapt. But we've seen players come in from the Championship to the Premier League and just have an amazing season straight off the bat, like Charlie Austin as an example when he was at QPR. So he could be up there. Other than that, like Aubameyang might be a dark horse. For me, it's the contract. I feel like that contract's just sapped his motivation and he hasn't been the same sort of striker since. But if you guys can get him firing again, like, because you lot don't have European football either, he could be a real threat this season too. Calvert-Lewin, maybe. I'm not really too sure though. But there's a few options.
There's good strikers around, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a lot of good
strikers around.
There are quite a few. I'm on the similar wavelength with Patrick Bamford and also Ivan Toney. I think they're definitely ones to watch. I think Ollie Watkins had a very good season last year as well. I think he was over 10 goals, I'm pretty sure. And I think Villa are in a very good situation despite selling Jack Grealish. Because obviously I was watching the video that one of the members of their board put out, and it was a really good video. I wish our chairman and your chairman would do the same thing when they sell players and make decisions. But it was very good, and like they kind of had said, we're not looking to replace Jack Grealish with Jack Grealish. We're looking to buy 3 players and do all different parts of it. And obviously now that they've signed Danny Ings, that might be the only thing for Ollie Watkins, just having to share the spoils a little bit. But I think that Villa are a very good side, and I think that Ollie Watkins is a very good player. I think he was very good at Brentford, and he had a good season with Villa. So for me, he's one of mine ones that I would watch, a little bit of a dark horse.
to Ollie
Villa
Watkins.
ain't in Europe either, are they?
No.
Okay, that's good. Because I think my only thing with Ings is that he's had 2 ACL injuries, so I'm not really sure about how he lasts for a full season.
The thing. He is very injury prone, but that could also be in Watkins' favour because I think Watkins will always start and Ings may just come in and out and give them that extra boost. But I think it could be a good thing for Ollie Watkins.
Right, so you're going Ollie Watkins.
Yeah, I like Ollie Watkins.
You're going.
I'll go Patrick Bamford.
I'm going to go Ings. Although I guess the only thing, like you said, that might affect is the fact that Ollie Watkins is going to be there as well. I get the feeling that Ings may be interchanging.
Yeah.
I just think Ings he's a goal scorer.
He is.
It's if he stays fit.
Yeah.
But if he stays fit, I think he might have a shout to be in there where nobody really expects it. So
Yeah, I can see
maybe-
that as well. As long as he stays fit for the whole season. Like, you've even seen the Southampton side, which doesn't really have the most creativity in the league.
And still manages to bang him in.
Yeah, he was second highest goal scorer. I think it was only a goal off Vardy that season when he won it.
Yeah.
So for me, if you can keep him fit, that could be the difference between whether Villa make it for Europe or not next season.
But also Heung-min Son, another one that is always there or thereabouts, not obviously at the top.
Yeah.
He does. The thing is with Son, obviously I watch him week in, week out, and Spurs fans will probably agree that when he's fully on it, he's unplayable on his day. But when he has a dip in form, and he always does go through a dip, you don't see him, and that's the only thing. But if he can be more consistent, obviously he's just got that new deal. Let's say Harry stays, there's obviously things going on at Spurs, some ins and outs obviously going to be going on. I think that he's also one that can always get assists, always get goals, there or thereabouts. Another little dark horse, not to win.
that'd be a great shout. Seeing as he's going to be leading the line, I think you're
Shut up, Rob. We've got a long old season together. Be
We've got a
nice.
long season, right? Right, listen, thanks for watching the video. Who do you think is going to win the Golden Boot, right? And who, as well, do you think is a little dark horse or someone that maybe we ain't all thinking about that could sneak in and win that Golden Boot? As I said, there's some great strikers in the Premier League this season, so we should see lots of goals. I don't want to... Let's defeat these low blocks, man.
Yeah.
Tired of these bloody low blocks,
Tell me
right?
again,
more.
Right,
man.
let's defeat these strikers. Get out there and deal with these low blocks, right? So looking forward to the season. We didn't really give much of a shout at Calvert-Lewin. We mentioned him a few times.
I don't see it. I don't
I think he's
I don't
just
see
there.
it.
He'll have a
Brilliant
good
in the air.
season, but I don't think he's up there.
Brilliant in the air, you know what I mean? So who do you think is going to be? Let us know in the description. Give us your Golden Boot winner and your dark horse to be the Golden Boot winner. And don't forget to subscribe to this video, and we'll see you on the next one.